Hey everybody, this is Wilson, and finally we have come to that time of the year where we get to talk about Game of the Year. I've made this video for you guys about my top 5 favorite games, and only one of them can be Game of the Year. And also, in between each top 5 video, there's going to be my recommended games, so hopefully you guys like that. And without further ado, let's do this. Make sure you press like and subscribe.
Monster Hunter World.
Alright, so in Monster Hunter World, the gameplay is simple. You track a creature down, you kill it or capture it, and you harvest its body for materials to craft better armor and weapons. This grind-heavy formula does get addicting, since oftentimes you'll be going after the same monsters over and over to create or upgrade a specific armor set, or do the same for weapons. Combat does have a slight learning curve, since there's different types of weapons to use, and each have their own quirks and difficulties. The game does have a main storyline quest, and also has an end game beyond it, and also a lot of side quests. In the way, you will find ways to craft traps, potions, cook food, and manage weapon sharpness to have the upper hand in battle. You can play this game solo or with groups of people through parties, or invite your friends to join you. The graphics are really great, especially how lifelike the monsters look and move. If you like equipment management, grind-heavy games, this game will be just right for you.
Recommended: Call of Duty Black Ops 4.
As a recommendation for a good multiplayer game to play this year, you should check out Call of Duty Black Ops 4. The entire game is online, featuring operator class multiplayer, zombie mode, and the popular Battle Royale mode, Blackout. Each mode is fully fleshed out with a lot of thought put into it, and easily is one of the best Call of Duties to come out since the first Black Ops. For those of you interested in the Battle Royale mode, Blackout, you will experience battles on a large map and fast-paced gunfights. There are vehicles, choppers, tons of guns and attachments, health and armor pickups. You have to be on your guard at all time because it is very fast, unlike other Battle Royale games. And the Call of Duty formula works well with this Battle Royale mode. It is easily one of my favorite game modes to come out this year. It may not have a single player campaign, but it has 3 great multiplayer options, and it is worth the money in my opinion.
Just want him to finish the game.
Why can't we all just get along?
4. Red Dead Redemption 2.
And avoided him. He went that way, I think.
Rockstar Games, you may have heard of them, makers of the famed Grand Theft Auto series, and in the second installment of the popular Western Sandbox series, Red Dead Redemption 2 comes out in full force with a wonderful sight to behold. You play as an outlaw, the very few and last in the United States, looking for cash and opportunity, and riches in the heartland. The graphics in this game is outstanding, and the amount of detail is totally extraordinary. To list off all the things you can do in this game and experience is just way too much to mention here, but you are literally left to approach situations your way, but not without its problems. There are many unfair situations like automatic fail of missions, spawning of bandits, and law enforcers that come out of nowhere, and controls that oftentimes feel janky and stiff. It's weird in a typical Rockstar game fashion, however, beyond all that, the story and impressive amount of detail is enough to get this game. This was a tough one to rank because the immersion breaking controls and just some questionable features and mechanics prohibiting full open world free-for-all.
Recommended: Dead Cells.
Every so often a game appears that takes mechanics from other games and mishmash them into a gameplay bonanza that just works perfectly. This is Dead Cells. This is a ball-bursting platformer Metroidvania Souls-like game They'll either get you instantly frustrated or keep you thirsty for completing the challenges ahead, featuring permadeath and upgrades that keep you going after you die. You must do all it takes to reach the end of the game on one playthrough or die trying each time. Dying is a part of the game, and gaining a currency called cells is your aim. Lose them all and you will not be able to progress your character. Get to the safe zone without dying, and you spend those cells to upgrade your guy, so when you do die, you will have a better chance to plan your runs to the end. I highly recommend this game. This is Dead Cells.
3. Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
1 year after releasing the Egyptian-themed Assassin's Creed Origins, Ubisoft has released yet another fantastic open-world experience, this time taking place in Greece. Assassin's Creed Odyssey delivers through and through. You play one of two characters, and the game now introduces dialogue options, reintroducing naval combat, and heavy RPG elements. You'll feel at home here in this open-world adventure if you enjoyed the direction Origins took to revitalize the Assassin's Creed franchise. There's a lot of heavy grinding, and oftentimes you'll be hard-pressed to gain levels just to advance the story and take down certain enemies. There's a lot of equipment management, crafting and gathering, tons of exploration, and sights to behold. Combat is clunky at times, and bad camera angles plague your view when it's needed most. There's always something to do, and tons of characters to interact with. Although this is a game we pretty much experienced before with Origins, the fact that you must grind a lot and invest a lot of time to advance through the game is good for some, but not for others. I highly recommend this game all around. It's just a fantastic odyssey to dip your feet into.
Recommended. Octopath Traveler.
This game is hard to give my impressions on since I have not beaten the game, but I can tell you Octopath Traveler touches upon a lot of nostalgic notes I have been yearning to experience again. The game is Octopath Traveler, and it has that old school Final Fantasy Chrono Trigger feel, where combat is turn-based and exploiting enemy weaknesses is king. What is so good here is that you can pick from one of 8 different heroes to start off with, all of which you will be able to recruit into your party later on. Each character has a deep story and professions to enhance, and situations surrounding their character to explore and complete. Music is really good, and combat sessions do help you think how to approach them strategically. It is a fantastic title on the Nintendo Switch and a must-own for Japanese role-playing game fans.
2. God of War.
God of War is not a sequel or a reboot, but is a brand new story arc that refreshes the franchise. Again, you play as Kratos, and you are not alone this time. You have a son in tow who is learning how to become a man in a Norse mythological themed world. The game is more grounded than the games that came before it, where using skills and fighting enemies feels like it takes inspiration from Dark Souls. There are more RPG elements this time around, and more tools of the trade to use. For instance, your son acts like an extension to yourself in the game, with his own abilities that help aid in combat and through puzzles. The story is totally fantastic. It's very deep, and the cutscenes are very cinematic. The game looks really good on the base PlayStation 4, and I imagine it will look really good on a PlayStation 4 Pro. The colors and textures are very impressive. However, in my own opinion, it is hard to give this game the Game of the Year, since the game feels like other games I've played in the past. Yet, it's still a rewarding experience and full of surprises. This was God of War. Check it out.
Recommended. Starlink. Battle for Atlas.
Toys? Video games? Mash them up and put them together in this fantastic space Star Fox No Man's Sky-like game. Essentially, you can buy the toys for this game in a starter set and see in real time on the screen as you swap out versions of the ships, pilots, and weapons that suit your playstyle. It has that old school Saturday morning cartoon vibe, the characters in the game, and the game is really geared for kids. But you don't have to buy everything, you don't have to buy the toys, you can buy everything digitally in one big deluxe bundle. And essentially what the game is you have to explore worlds and dogfight in space and gain experience, and you utilize different weapon combinations to take out hordes of enemies, bosses, and structures. I highly recommend this game for the kids and adults alike. It's a really fun game, guys.
We have come to this very moment to award Game of the Year on Wilson's Gaming. And the reward goes to Spider-Man on the PlayStation 4.
Every year a game stands out to me and reminds me what it means to be a gamer. Spider-Man on the PlayStation 4 not only lets you live the life of a superhero, but it lets you take in the sights of a meticulously recreated version of New York never seen at this scale before. If you can see something in the game, you can swing to it, scale it, stick to it with such fluidity that it's hard to believe that this game can even run this well on a base PlayStation 4. It is totally outstanding. The combat is so high octane and very cinematic that it makes you forget that you're even playing a game. It is that good. There's always so much to do, so much to experience, and so many enemies to fight that you will never get bored, and the game will never dull down for you. The sound design, the graphics, music are all top notch, and there's so much to unlock, like skills and gadgets and many items in the world that you can get to help you upgrade your character. There are tons of missions to complete and moves to master, and many unlockables to find. This is cinematic gameplay done right, and gameplay in general done correctly. A game that makes you feel free is a good game indeed.
And I realize it's so lucky to have fans who really care about you. And that's the reason I care so much about the fans, because they make me feel so great